Hey, I'm Bjorn, and on behalf of Eriko, I want to show you my Prank Kids deck list. I am a new Yu-Gi-Oh player. I have never played seriously before Master Duel came out, and this deck got me to Platinum. It is not a super usual deck. I believe it's like 3% or something of people play it. I've never met another Prank Kids when I've played. But just like Pendulum Magicians, it is a hidden powerhouse. Like, it's easily top tier. Maybe not top 5, but it is top tier, and it can definitely win against any other meta deck. It is underrated and underplayed. Why? I don't know. But if I, as a new player, can win with this deck, so can you. So try it out. It's actually extremely budget friendly. You don't need all of these URs that you see on the screen. You absolutely don't. You need only a single ultra rare. Prank Kids Battle Butler. You need a single copy of this card. The rest is completely optional. You don't even need, if you're short on super rares, you don't need 3 of these, you don't need 2 of these, and you don't need 3 of these. You can have like 1 of each. It's totally okay. Like 1 ultra rare and 3 super rares is all you need to get started with this deck. And like, it has won tournaments, and any pro player will tell you this deck is very lethal because we have this card called Prank Kids Battle Butler. And as a quick effect, you can tribute this card to destroy all the monsters your opponent controls. That is insane. It is like Raigeki, the spell card, but as a quick effect, which is much better. Also, you don't actually need to tribute it, because you have another card that says if a Prank Kids monster you control will tribute itself to activate its effect during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card you control, or even from your graveyard instead. So you can either, keep the card on the field, or I suppose you can use it twice if your opponent recovers and builds another board of monsters. And that's how you win. It's kind of simple. Now, getting there, the combo for getting there is kind of long, and it can be intimidating at first, but please relax and just practice. Go into solo mode and practice this deck. It does take time before you get used to it, and you might lose to timeout if you try doing it live before you're used to it. So, practice, because pretty soon you're gonna learn it and it's gonna become second nature, because it's actually pretty simple. You see, Prank Kids, the whole idea with it is that every one of these Prank Kid monsters have this little thing at the end that says when you tribute them, you can summon 1 Prank Kids monsters from your hand or deck in defense position. So basically, the first thing we do on our turn is we play 1 Prank Kid. 1 Prank Kid is everything you need to make your full combo. It doesn't matter if it's turn 1 or if it's turn 5, as long as you have 1 single Prank Kid in hand or on the field, you can make your full combo every single time. As long as you're able to replenish your cards, as long as your opponent don't banish them or prevent you from shuffling back into the deck. So we start every game with 1 Prank Kid tributed to play this cat here. And then once you have those, the kid replaces itself with another kid, then you suddenly have 2 Prank Kids in the field. And with 2 Prank Kids, you can play this bird. And what this does is you can search for 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is almost always going to be your polymerization card, Prank Kids Pandemonium, which is just like polymerization, except it only works for Prank Kids, but it's a quick play spell, which means you can activate it during your opponent's turn, which is incredibly powerful for various reasons I will explain later. But if you already have this in hand, you can of course grab another card, like, I don't know, like this card or this card, it's up to you. And after the bird gets summoned, you can use its other effect, which is that you can tribute it and take 2 cards with different names in your graveyard, add them to your hand. But before you do that, you actually want to use the polymerization you just grabbed to summon the rocket. Because the rockets, well, first off, you can make it lose 1,000 attack and then make it attack directly, but that's only useful in fringe cases. What you actually care about is the fact that it's a double Monster Reborn. It lets you special summon 2 cards from your graveyard. That's really good. It makes you go plus in card economy. So, after you summon this and you get 2 Prankids back from the grave, maybe you can even use the bird as fuel for the rocket, and then get the bird back with a rocket's effect plus another Prankid. Then you can tribute the bird to get your polymerization back to your hand, plus some other card that's bound to be useful. Then finally, you can't do it multiple times. Almost all of these cards you can only use each effect of blah 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 once per turn, which is why you end the combo with the dog, which can only be activated during your opponent's turn, but it acts the same as the bird, just during your opponent's turn. But instead of searching for a spell, you give 1,000 attack to whatever it points to, which is situational useful, but not always. And during your opponent's turn, so before your opponent's turn, you set the Prankid's Pandemonium, your polymerization spell, face down. And on your opponent's turn, you want to summon the Battle Butler. If you don't have enough Prankids to do that, because you need Lampsies, Droppies, and Fancies, that is to say a red and a blue and a green kid in order to summon this. If you don't have that, no worries, because you have the dog. So you just activate the dog, you tribute it, and then you can grab 2 kids from your graveyard and put them in your hand. So you only need 1 single of these. As long as you end your combo, if you end your combo with a yellow kid, you screwed up, so never do that. End the combo with a blue or a red or a green. As long as you do that, you have 1 of them on the field, you get 2 of them into your hand with a dog, and then you can always summon the butler. It's a 100% foolproof combo, unless your opponent stops you by using things like Ash Blossom. But even if you have enough cards to summon Battle Butler without using the dog, you still want to wait for your opponent's turn, due to the fact that these cards also you can only use this effect once per turn, so it's a waste if you already use their effects and then you tribute them again, which is why you want to wait for your opponent's turn, where you can quick effects tribute them and get their effects, and also get the Battle Butler out. Now, 2 Prankids that aren't part of the normal combo is the Dragon and the Washer. The Dragon is kind of like the Battle Butler. It destroys all opponent's spell and trap cards, so instead of being a quick effect Raigeki, it is a quick effect Harpy Feather Duster. And the Washer, it has an effect the same as the Rocket, but on your opponent's turn instead of on your own turn. But what we actually care about is its passive effect, which says that if your Prankid's monster attacks, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step, which means that as soon as it gets to your attack phase, your opponents can't activate cards before you, because you have priority. So you attack with a Prankid, and as long as you keep attacking with Prankid, your opponent can never interrupt you until you're done attacking. And that is how you close out games. Like, if you're going to attack your opponent for lethal damage, make sure to summon a Weather Washer first, so that they can't activate any tricks during combat. I also have Totally Awesome and Thunder Dragon Colossus. They are not needed. I really recommend Totally Awesome for anyone, because this deck doesn't have any negates. So it's really good to have Totally Awesome as a negate. You can tribute or discard any Aqua monster to negate a card, destroy it, and then set it to your own field. So you basically also steal the card as well. It's super powerful. And you only need 2 level 2 Aqua monsters, which is either the blue Prankid, or if you like running this trap, the token from the trap also works as well. So I would say this is kind of needed. And the Thunder Dragon Colossus is absolutely not needed. It's just a wild card I put in there because I think it's fun. While Thunder Dragon Colossus prevents your opponent from finding cards in their main deck and just, without actually drawing them, just putting them from their deck into their hand, it prevents that. And also, if they try to kill it, you can banish monsters from your graveyard instead. So I like it, but you can do whatever you want. You can put Appaloosa in here. You can have some access code stuff. Do whatever you want. Put your favorite extra cards in here, Have some imagination. And I will say the same with all the other normal cards in my deck. Like, obviously you don't need Thunder Dragon if you don't run the Colossus, and like Monster Reborn and Instant Fusion I would say is really good. Monster Reborn 2, you get it for free in the story, but like, you can have whatever trap cards you want, and if you don't have 3 Max C and free Ash Blossom, you can put something else in there. It's up to you. It's super customizable, right? So I'm just gonna talk about the fact that, the core cards. As I said earlier, these kids, when you tribute them, they replace themselves. But only once per turn, so, you start with 1 kid, and then you can get 4 new kids. So you can basically have 5 prank kids every turn. And they also have a secondary effect though, which is why we sometimes, even if you don't need to, you sometimes still want to do a really long convoluted combo just so that you can tribute every single prank kid every single turn, because their extra effects are small, but they are nice and they can be the difference between winning and losing. This, for example, the green kid sends a card from the deck to the graveyard, which can be, if you want to grab something with, for example, the dog's effects, you can first toss it to the grave with this card, dig it up, or you can toss this card in the grave because this has a special effect that when it is in the graveyard and your opponent attacks you with a monster, you can banish it to make that monster lose 100 attack for each card you shuffle back into your deck. So not only do you reduce the attack of an opposing monster, but you also get every single card back into your deck and you're good to go again for a full combo. And the blue one is very simple. You gain 1,000 life points. You can activate this, both during your own turn and during your opponent's turn. So you can have 10,000 life points before your opponent gets to do anything. And that can mess up some OTK decks because they don't count on you having 10,000. They count on you having 8,000. And the red kid, 500 damage. It's not as good as gaining 1,000 life, but still, if your opponent is low on life, but they are somehow preventing you from attacking and they're trying to lock down your field, you can slowly kill them with this, so it helps. And the yellow kid, you banish a card from your hand and draw another card, so it basically just goes through your deck. Never banish another prank kid though, especially the red, blue, and green ones. You always want 3 copies of those floating around because you will mess up your combos if you start banishing those. But before you tribute this, just make sure you have a card in hand, because if you don't have a card in hand, then you can't banish a card and then nothing happens. So don't do that. Then you have the Prankit's Place, which is a field spell that's like when you fusion summon something, everything gets 500 attack, and when you link summon something, your opponents lose 500 attack, and it's kind of nice, not necessary, but most of all, when you play the card, you can add any Prankit monster from your deck to your hand. So it's basically just an extra Prankit. You don't need to run 3 of these, but I like running 3 of these plus a Terraforming because I just really like the card. Then you have the Prankit's Pranks. I only run 1 of these. I used to run 3. You can run 3 if you want to. Basically, you can discard a card to get a token on the field, which is pretty useless because the token can't replace itself, and the whole point of Prankits is that they replace themselves, so it doesn't really help you that much. But during your end phase, you can shuffle 3 cards from your grave into your deck, and that's useful in case, you can't activate this. Like, if you don't think your opponent will attack you but you still want to replenish your deck, you can use this instead of this, right? And then 3 Prankid's Pandemonium, absolutely necessary. Like, you can of course just get it with a bird, but it's pretty nice to draw it without the bird, so that you can get something else with the bird. And yeah, it's, you know, you want to fusion summon something every turn, so it's always good. A little caveat is, after you use the card, you can't summon anything else than Prankids. So if you want to get your Appaloosa or whatever else, make sure to do it before you start fusion summoning. And again, this card, which it lets you link summon as a quick effect, and if it's in your graveyard, it lets you banish itself for like a reduction in opponent's attack, plus shuffling cards into your own deck. And that's it, pretty much. I will